raise Karis that she's a kid first and diabetic second, and diabetes doesn't have to rule over her life. It's just she might have to plan a little more. She might have to take some extra considerations because she's diabetic, but anything that any other kid can do, she can do too.
If I had breakfast, I'd have to poke. If I ever had a snack, I had to poke. If I was grumpy, I would have to poke 14 times a day.
Of course, she didn't like testing, and when she talks about, well, it might hurt a lot that I feel like I want to cut my finger off, and then, it might hurt just for a couple seconds, and you feel bad about that, but then the ones I feel even worse about are the ones where she says it doesn't hurt, because then it's almost like she's gotten used to it, or maybe that spot on her finger has scar tissue. You'll do anything for your kids. I would die every day for my kids. See, now I get emotional. I've lived in this house for 10 years, and if it came down to selling my house and getting an apartment because it's cheaper, I would do it without questions asked. I'm probably your typical middle-class family. So when I was given this information for grants and places to help, and of course, I have insurance, so I'm thinking of low-income families who maybe don't have insurance, or they maybe struggle. And so I didn't even really think of looking at it because I'm like, well, I'm not going to qualify anyways.
I just remember her staring at her on the couch why are you crying? Because I think she said you're gonna get a monitor.
I got the letter in the mail, and it was like happy tears, and I told her, no honey, these are happy tears because we're gonna get a sensor for you so you don't have to poke your finger, and you won't have the black dots on your finger anymore, and it won't hurt, and just so grateful. And I just never thought that anybody would help me.
It's just easier now. I don't have to poke my finger so much. I have freedom.
Without HealthWell, I think my time would be consumed with managing her diabetes. Her time would be consumed with having to test, and the stress and the worry of every 3 months, okay, how are we going to pay for this again?
I can do anything. There's no stopping me from doing anything.